Black people have made their mind. And somehow, this time round, the decisions that black Americans have made is affecting white people negatively. It's not like black people are mean for making these decisions, but it is for their own good. It is for their own growth. For the longest time, people have taken advantage of black folks. Get look at things like affirmative action and when they happened. When black people went on the streets to fight for the rights and all these privileges, I call them privileges, the things that initially they were not getting, but since black people went on the street, things like education, you were considered privileged when you had education. So when black people were fighting for the affirmative action, for representation of all this other group of people, this affirmative action went ahead and only benefited some groups of people, especially white women. So my point is not that. My point is that majority of the times when black people go on the streets to march for the cause of something that will help everybody, they are the ones who end up excluded. And majority of the times when black people are in problem, you see the turnout is not same, as black people are always standing out for other groups of people. And these are ringing the alarm to black folks, since black people are seeing the treatment that they are getting when they need help and how people treat them when they need help from them. It shows something totally different. And black folks have made a tough decision. And the decision is that we are going to fill our cup first, and then we can hear anybody else's story. And this somehow is sending shockwaves to white America, because now they're looking back and they are seeing like there is nobody to help them. There is nobody to hear them. And for the longest time, black folks have been one of the greatest supporters. So when they look back, so when they see all these things happen, it somehow make them question a number of things. And one of the biggest things that black folks have done this time round is black silence, not engaging in all those things that these people want them to engage, including protests. So brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video and then I'll be back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. I'm your host and presenter Eugenic Stories. So let's get into it. I'll be back.
I'm done with marching. We're not marching anymore. The only thing that moves this society is racism and greed. Do not give your hard-earned money back to the people that want you in chains.
Number one threat to the American fabric is the black man's
black progress.
Yeah. Black progress, collaboration. Yeah. You know, our unity is a threat to some people.
They count on us staying divided.
So there's been this online discourse about why black people aren't out there protesting more, ain't out there on the front lines more, and saying that this isn't our fight. Some of my mutuals are into it, and they beefing with each other. But I'm going to try to explain to those people who don't know and don't understand why black people ain't out there. I'm going to explain to y'all, and I'm going to try to do it quickly because I want to do a longer form, but that'll be on a different platform. So here we go. I was born in 86, right? Throughout the 90s and the 2000s, one of the things that kept being said about black people is, they need to build up their community. Why don't they build up their own neighborhoods? Why don't they own their own businesses? Why ain't they doing all this stuff? They commit the most crimes. They're the main ones on welfare and all this other stuff. And they're the main ones with affirmative action and DEI and all this other stuff. And we believed all the stuff and negative stuff that they were saying about us, our community, and our culture, right? Right. Now, fast forward to where we are now, where a lot of us are doing our research on this stuff and realize a lot of the stuff that they were saying about us was just straight up lies. We don't commit the most crimes in this country. We're not the main ones who benefit from welfare programs. We're not the main ones who benefit from DEI and affirmative action. And regardless of anything that has ever been said against us, we still find time to laugh, smile, build up, take care of our families, and do all of that stuff. And we're learning that all that stuff that they said about us was lies. We also learned that a lot of the stuff that our ancestors fought for, the people who do benefit the most from that stuff, are the ones who will talk trash about our community and about our culture and don't even understand it. And now we're feeling offended because you guys are benefiting from the stuff that our ancestors fought for, but yet are the same ones talking some of the most trash about us. And y'all want to wonder why we're not fighting? We fought for y'all back in November 2024. We fought for y'all. Y'all didn't fight for y'all because it was a hectic time during that election. And that election showed black people one thing, that we are more on accord than y'all have been leading us to believe. Even black women, y'all had black women thinking that white women were going to stand by their side more than black men until them election results came in and we realized like we actually are more together than apart. And, you know, of course, we can blame it on a couple of loudmouths with a podcast, Mike, but it is what it is. So we're looking at it like, nah, y'all got yourselves into this mess. What we're going to do is build our community like y'all been saying we need to do, and y'all can go deal with this. In fact, don't ask where the black people are at. Why don't you go ask all them random TikTokers who suddenly got political and told y'all not to doggone vote or try to vote for a third party, that as soon as the election results came in, all of a sudden, they don't talk about politics no more. Ask them to go help you. Don't ask us. That's the reason why. So just in case you need to know, that's the reason why.
Why aren't black people showing up to the masses to these demonstrations? Why aren't we marching? Why aren't we chanting? Why aren't we screaming, this system is corrupt just like everybody else? I'm gonna tell you why. Because when it was us, nobody cared. When black people were being harassed, when our constitutional rights were being violated, when black people were getting killed by the police on camera, y'all didn't protest with us. Y'all didn't believe us. Y'all didn't call the system corrupt. You asked for a backstory. You wanted to know what we did to deserve it. You couldn't just accept the truth that this was an unjust system targeting us because of our skin color. But now that ICE is involved, now that it's affecting you, now all of a sudden the government is evil. Now the system is broken. Now everybody wants to march. Where was this energy when we told y'all this years ago? We've been telling y'all that the system was crooked. We've been telling y'all that law enforcement abuses power. We've been telling y'all that the government does not protect everyone equally. But you didn't want to hear it because believing us would have meant questioning the same system that you trusted, the same system that benefited you, the same system that you defended while it was destroying us. So don't ask why black people aren't rushing to the front lines now. Some of us are tired. Some of us know how this story ends. The same people you're calling corrupt today are the same people we warned you about. But y'all didn't believe us then, so don't be shocked when we're not shocked now.
Now, Dr. Martin Luther King said in his 1967 speech, "Where do we go from here? White America fears black solidarity more than black rebellion because unity threatens the whole system of control."
To me, we are the most beautiful creatures in the whole world, black people. I mean that in every sense, outside and inside. And to me, we have a culture that is surpassed by no other civilization, but we don't know anything about it. So again, I think I've said this before in this same interview, I think at some time before, my job is to somehow make them curious enough or persuade them by hook or crook to get more aware of themselves and where they came from and what they are into and what is already there, and just to bring it out. This is what compels me to compel them.
So I'm going to pull in close when I say this. It's not our rebellion that scares white America. Nope. It's something far more powerful. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King said in his 1967 speech, "Where do we go from here? White America fears black solidarity more than black rebellion because unity threatens the whole system of control. A rebellion, they can police it. That's why they want us out in the streets. They can contain it. They can spin the narrative like they usually do. But solidarity, unity, that shakes the entire foundation of this country. That's why they can tolerate a little black joy, not too much. But what they absolutely, positively cannot have is us coming together. And baby, when I say black love is a superpower, I mean it. And it's a hill I'm willing to die on. Black men want black women. Black women want black men. Same sex black couples too. But baby, the propaganda is strong. And it's strong for a reason. Commercials, movie storylines, athletes, entertainers, all of it carefully crafted to disrupt our bonds. Did y'all hear Kendrick Lamar when he said, turn the TV off, turn the TV off? We have to stop believing the hype. Baby, they know. And they're praying and hoping we don't figure that thing out. Because Black partnership, Black unity, it starts at home. And when the home is strong, the community is strong. That's why the attack on the Black family never stopped. They keep pushing gender wars, pitting us against each other, because they know if we ever unify fully, baby, game over. And y'all, this is bigger than romantic relationships. That's just a start. This is about our very survival. It's time to start seeing through the propaganda, cut through the noise, get back together, hell, and turn the damn TV off. Because the real revolution, it ain't a rebellion or a protest. It's us standing together, loving together, and changing the whole game. Happy Black History 365. And I'll see you next time.
Check this out. The reason why us as Black people, we need to downplay our success or the fact that we're doing well in life, especially towards white people, is because your success is seen as a direct threat on white privilege. Now, this isn't just me saying this, but this is what happened exactly to Black Wall Street. Bunch of Black people minding their own bloody business, being successful, was seen as a direct threat on white privilege. And the reason I say that is because white privilege only exists if a certain group has an advantage. If everyone has an advantage, then no one has privilege. You're now average. So if the lower class, which is what we were seeing at one point, starts to rise up, they see that as their privilege is coming down. That's why you doing well makes them look at themselves and like, how the hell have you got that? How are you buying a house? How are you buying a car? And they see it as a threat on them because their white people's success is only a privilege by the distance away from you as a Black person. Now, this is not me trying to create a racial war or anything like that. I'm just breaking down in layman's terms why you shouldn't actually. And when I say, I'm not even talking about flexing on the gram or anything like that. I'm not talking about buying luxury stuff. I'm talking about even just average things. Even considered basic and average. Just buying a house will be seen as a threat to some people in the workplace. If you say, oh, I just bought my house, bought my second house or whatever, that's a direct threat to some white people. Because you shouldn't be doing the same things as them. The reason why is because, like I said before my previous video, racism is innately generational. It's passed down through generations. We wasn't even considered humans at one point. So how the hell can you have the same things as me? Do you see what I'm saying? And this is where, if you do this in environments where, like at work and whatnot, this can literally affect your bag. The hiring manager, the decision maker can get aware of this, and slowly, all of a sudden, your workload is getting removed. You're put on a PIP for no reason. You're made redundant. We know how it's played out. So in my opinion, you always downplay what you're really doing to save yourself. Think about it.
An educated Black woman is a threat to anyone who benefits from her lack of education. God said, and the last shall be first. Black women were the demographic that were last to be granted access to higher education. Black women are now the number one demographic to obtain college degrees. Black women are also the number one demographic to buy homes and start businesses, all because of higher education. You see, they didn't think that Black women would make the connection between higher education and being above the poverty line. Education for a Black woman changes her perspective of herself and her view of the world around her. It shifts her mind and it makes her believe that she is exactly who she thinks she is. It builds her self-esteem, it builds her self-worth, and it also gives her access to resources that changes her life. That is why we see the narrative being pushed that Black women are getting too many degrees, because they've realized what is happening. We are no longer at the bottom of the totem pole.
Why are white people so intimidated and threatened by Black men, despite their claims that Black men are inferior to them and incapable of the most basic tasks?
Well, there's an easy answer to that question. They know black men are inferior. Are superior to them. Put us on any playing field, be it physics or football, and we will win. Give us the same opportunities, and we will win. Because we come from a history of not trying to destroy and dominate the world, and you come from a history of trying to destroy and dominate the world. And that has become the culture of the white community, you know? So you go into your medicine, and your first open heart surgery as a black man, your first separating of Siamese twins as a black man, the creator that eventually produces your first artificial heart is a black man. You can just go on and on. A black janitor at Johns Hancock, all right, teaches your best surgeon, the janitor, who never went to med school. Give me a break. You got a TV set because of a black man. You got a cell phone because of a black man. You got a touchstone because of a black woman. You got the video game because of a black man. You've got the internet because of a brother from Ghana, Nigeria or Ghana, I think the brother's from. You got when we send messages on the computer. You know, like I'm gonna text you, what do you call it? Email. You have the email because of a black Indian man. And it's just going, all of the technology that you're using was created for your corporations by African peoples.
Number one threat to the American fabric is the black man's
black progress.
Black progress, collaboration. You know, our unity is a threat to some people.
They count on us staying divided. Because this is a guy, Dr. Henry Clark, famous black historian, said, we don't have friends in the world. Black people don't have friends. We have to count on ourselves. But they've made it to where we hate each other so much. Look what they've done with Africa. Africa is the only continent where, you know, they had that meeting back in the
Berlin.
day.
Berlin.
Where you can't even go next door. But in Europe, you can travel by train anywhere. But we have to use a passport to get to the next, to our brother next door.
To climb over a mountain.
And they did it on purpose so we can have our own ideas. We can be separate from others. They did a good job on us, and with African Americans, with Caribbean,
and you know,
that is where that comes from.
And you even see it more too, like even like sometimes, like if I'm looking at your page and some of the dope content that you're putting out, and you can see how it divides. I just experienced my first thing for the first time, and you see how the people start coming after you, and I'm like, I said this is on Black History Month, right? Really, right? And they can just take something and flip it, and you go, why is that? Because when you said that, I knew what you meant, and I'm like, what's wrong with our own success? And when you think of Nipsey Hussle, I think about I'll just never forget him shooting one of his videos in front of my mom's shop, and then just the type of income just for doing his video in front of my mom's shop.
Helped everything out.
Right? Like you didn't have to do that. You could have rented a studio and did it somewhere else. But Nipsey Hussle decided, I'm gonna do it in front of my mom's shop. You know what I'm saying? And like that to me, just talk about like people who knows how big and what their impact is in a neighborhood, and say, look, my job is to help the next person out. I've always felt that about you as well. You know what I mean?
That's all she ever does. It's with with her grocery store. Because we have a lot of deserts, grown food deserts in black neighborhoods on purpose. And that's why they'll put in those little bodegas with the liquor and the smoking. And we don't have, a lot of black neighborhoods don't have a Whole Foods or a big grocery store, because they keep them. Man.
Oh no! Before you say that,
we got the big grocery store, but they redline the food. The quality of food you get is different than what the quality is at the Ralph's 4 miles away. And they charge us more.
It's sick.
It's starving us. Like, and I'm like, if you starve a person the right way, where they eating stuff that's coming out of a paper plastic bag and stuff, you eating a chemically processed food, now you got the chemicals attacking your brain. If it's attacking your brain, it's attacking your ability to process information, to properly think, to deal with your emotions. Now you committing crimes that you don't even know why are my relationships so toxic? Why do I have to have alcohol so that I can walk outside the house? Like, and it's because of all, like, And it's a war going on here and people don't even realize it.
Yeah, let's and we talk
It's spiritual warfare, and the devil always come through you through the food first. Every time the devil ever attacked was through food. Every single time. Even when he came for Jesus, he came to him when he was on his, he fasting. He out there like, first he offered him all this food. Look, I got food, wine, water, all the stuff you can eat. What you want? You want this? Jesus said, nah. He's like, I'll make you the king of all this land, all this whatever. And he said, nah, I'm good, player. I'm good. And it's like, but the average man, when you starving, you see that food, you go for it. And then there you go, hurting a bunch of other people. There you go, destroying your body, which in turn you'll destroy others. So.
And I'll tell you this, because I didn't even realize sometimes when you're living in it, being born and raised in Crenshaw, in LA, and it is what it is, right? This is your product or whatever it is. And it wasn't until I got married, and my wife, who grew up outside of LA, she comes to LA. We're living and raising our family in the house that I grew up in. And she went over to, it used to be a boys ABC right there on King and Western. And it was the first time, right there on King and Western. And I remember going through and I said, let me see what she's talking about. And usually they tell you to shop on the outside aisles. That's where all the healthy food is. Yeah. Right? You go on the outside, all processed foods. You take a processed food. There's this one little thing where you get a little produce and some meat and whatever like that. And then that's that. Everything else in between the line. Right. I'm like, 90% of the food in here is processed. I go to the store manager and I'm going, like, what's up with this? He goes, this is what the people will buy. I go, bull crap. I said, if you put fresh fruit and you put good food in here, people will buy it. People will buy it. It's like, oh no. And I'm like, wait. This is the biggest trap ever. And then you understand why diabetes and high blood pressure and all of that stuff is consuming our neighborhoods. And then you get to the doctors and they want to tell you, oh, you're African American and you're African, you're predisposed to this. I'm not predisposed. I'm only exposed to the worst crap in my neighborhood.
But it's set up for our destruction.
Yeah.
It's they wake up trying to plan our destruction. They don't go to sleep without.
What's happening right now was planned like 50, 60 years ago.
Even with Margaret Sanger and the Planned Parenthood. Yeah. That Planned Parenthood was made to annihilate Black and brown people. Yeah. This lady was like, I don't like Black people. We got to use it through birth control. She tried to poison. Bill Gates' father was running her company. We can keep it moving though. We won't go too far in that.
Yeah.
It's our progress. What's his name? J. Edgar Hoover said it. The biggest threat to America is Black progress.
Exactly.
And he was half Black.
That part.
And he was head of the FBI.
And he was a homosexual. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. If it would have been, do you think if he would have been alive today with the current times, how it is now, he would be saying that? If he was able to dress like how he liked to dress, if he was able to go to work in girls' panties and a bra and a dress and all this stuff and wear high heels and be like, out there, do you think he would be saying Black progress is the biggest problem? Or would he be saying like, transgender bias is the problem?
Right.
Or what would be the problem, do you think he would say?
J. Edgar Hoover now?
What you think? That's a good ChatGPT question, right?
You know,
ChatGPT would be like, I can't
catch J. Edgar Hoover on filming him. There go J. Edgar Hoover. Look, there he is. Like, put it down. Put that camera down.
Get that out of here.
Damn camera down.
I'm going to send my for you. You gonna wake up dead and butt naked.
So since this seems to be a topic of conversation on TikTok right now about how Black Americans are choosing to opt out of being on the front lines against everything that's going on with this stuff that's outside that starts with I, white and non-white people alike have felt comfortable coming to the internet to say that Black people should not be sitting out of it on this one. And I want you guys to really think about what you're saying, because Black people have never had the option to opt out, and they are not really opting out now. They're just choosing not to be on the front lines because when they're on the front lines, only more brutality comes after that, and people die and nothing changes, and they've been fighting forever. If you really fucking think about it, Black people have never stopped being a target. Just because other people are targets now does not mean that Black people are still not a target. Do you know what I mean? Don't you think if they could sit this out, that they would sit out police brutality too? Also, they have, like I said earlier, they've been fighting this fight for a long time. And guess who didn't care? Guess who said maybe you should follow the law, maybe you should be a criminal, maybe you should XYZ, finding every excuse in the book to justify the killings of innocent Black people all over. So yeah, that's really rich. That's really rich for you guys to be telling Black people that they need to be up and fighting. They have been fighting. They fight every single day of their lives.
when they go outside, there is no guarantee that they are going to be safe from police brutality or just any type of brutality from the government, like in like the prison system, like the judicial system, etc. These are all things that they cannot opt out of.
Black Americans have absolutely no reason to defend America, to fight for America, to honor America, until we give reparations. Now, before y'all lose your shit and start saying, I didn't have any slaves, slavery was over 100 years ago, chill the fuck out, all right? Because that's not what we're talking about. This did not end 100 years ago. Slavery was not the end of all discrimination. It was not the end of all wealth being stripped and taken from Black Americans. Reconstruction era, Jim Crow era, Civil Rights era, the crack epidemic, there's not a point in time where America was not putting down Black Americans, taking their wealth from them, and preventing them from building capital. I went through and listed a whole bunch of Black towns that were destroyed by angry white mobs. Many of these towns were self-sufficient, and many of them had very wealthy Black residents like Jack Hawley, who had like 700 acres, a granary, a general store that was taken from him and never given back. He never got any reparations for it. That is wealth and capital that could have been passed on generationally that was stopped by white America. And it wasn't just the angry racist mobs that were causing this wealth inequality. Even though that alone should qualify for reparations, there was also the redlining. There was also the U.S. highways that destroyed neighborhoods. There was gentrification that's still happening today. In a capitalist society, those who have capital will get more capital. Those who don't have capital, even what they have will be taken from them. So while white Americans got to pass on their capital, their wealth, generation after generation, Black Americans and brown Americans had to restart over and over. Have y'all not played Monopoly? Do you know what happens when one person owns all the properties? It gets a lot less fun to play for the rest of the people. Shit, when I played Monopoly, we were ready to fight each other. My siblings, we hated each other after that game. If you were winning, you were just rubbing it in everybody else's face, and the losers were always having the worst time and end up flipping the damn board over. That is literally a perfect analogy of what is happening today. Black Americans are flipping the board over. They're tired of the game because the game has never suited them. It's getting boring. So how do we give out reparations? At this point, it would be damn near impossible to do it based on race, okay? There's so much mixing, what percentage, who would get it, it would just make a whole big mess. So that's why most people immediately stop thinking about reparations. Oh, we can't even do it. That'd be too complicated. But there is a way to do it. Y'all just don't want to give reparation. You could set up reparations that are not just cash. You're not just giving out stimulus checks. You could set it up to where people in these zip codes that were redlined can get loans, interest-free loans for houses, for businesses. Reparations does not have to be cash. It could be education. It could be welfare. It could be housing. To prevent people from gentrifying these areas because of these loans, you do it based on income. This would also benefit not only Black Americans, but Mexican Americans, Native Americans, Hawaiians, even Puerto Ricans. The entire island of Puerto Rico would qualify for this. Germany gave out reparations, okay? And they apologized. They sincerely apologized for what they did. And now look at their nation. It's one of the best places to live in the world. Hands down. Your social benefits are there. You have unlimited sick days. You have paid time off. You have affordable food, affordable housing. These are all things that were made possible because they paid reparations. I would argue if they never paid reparations, they would not have as great of a society as they do, because the people changed. The hearts of the people changed. And that's what has never happened in America. And even if this whole thing flops and nobody's life gets better because of reparations, right? At least we have shown people that we are changed by heart and that we care and that we want these communities to do better. And that would actually give these people in these communities a reason to care about America, a reason to fight for freedom. Right now, they have no reason. We've never given them a reason because we've never truly apologized. We've never rectified what happened. And until that day happens, we are going to be divided in this country.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Eugenic Stories. I want to talk about something that I believe that it is really important. One thing that stands out is that black unity is a threat to all these folks, because now black people, when they come together, what they're doing is that they are filling their cups. For the longest time, black folks have always been concerned by the welfare of other people. But one of the deepest questions that people never asked, who was really concerned with the welfare of black people? Who a group of people that were looking out for black folks, if it's not black folks themselves? See, so those are critical questions that majority of times people need ought to have asked, because it goes beyond thinking that black people will cross oceans, black people will cross rivers so that somebody somewhere can be comfortable, so that other group of folks can be comfortable. But what does it do when it comes to black folks? Right? So let black people rest. This is the time for black folks to rest and just look at everything crumble. Just look at everything happening. Let black people rest. So this is how it goes. This is how it happens. It is time that these folks should understand that this is now the time for black folks to focus on themselves, to focus on things that are going to be helping them. Because for the longest time, they prioritize other group of people, but those people don't prioritize them. It is always a one-sided relationship when you get to think about it, when you get to look about it. That's what you're going to be discovering. It has always been a one-sided. It was always a one-sided story. So brothers and sisters, I really don't know what to think about this. Right? I really don't know what to think about this. Somebody said that I don't care how threatened they feel. I'm not going to live poorly because they can't stand it. As for degrees, we have ours. We can teach our own. There is no going backwards for us. Let them continue to go backwards. Somebody also say that, Whitey, time is coming for time. Who is on top will fall to the bottom. Nothing stays the same forever. Time is changing, and it's changing on you. The Confederacy state is falling. Trump is your last chance, and he's losing the population race. It is your last chance. Whitey is turning on Southern philosophy. It's not working. Ask the farmers. Somebody say that we want all of what is saying about reparations. We deserve it all, because all this was taken from our ancestors and used. Now the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans were not enslaved like the American black people. Come on now. Somebody also say that African Americans need to be paid reparations because our blood, sweat, and tears made white people wealthy. We want our cut. If you all can make Elon, Trump, and other billionaires America can find money for our reparations, you all keep acting like you all can't find money. But you find people you're acting like you can't find money, but you find money for everything else. All that yapping, like your forefathers, you don't want to pay us for the labor that we did. Somebody also say that the descendants of white racists are still connected to the beliefs of their ancestors. Now, they are afraid of black people unifying. Their thievery is exposed to the entire world, whom they have done these things to. They thought the world that black people was the low class of society, and anyone close to white proximity was a greater class of people. Now, all of these nations are finding out that it is the greatest evil that ever happened to the planet, because they are attacking you now. We have been telling you forever how the system of America is set up, but you didn't believe. Black people. So now you're finding out that you are white and black Americans who are absolutely correct about all the things that they told you about. You abused black Americans just like white Americans, and now your ass are finding out. And you want black Americans' help. Hell no. We will not help those that did not help black Americans. We have no allies. We stand alone. Only God is working for people, for black people in America here. So, brothers and sisters, please let me know what you think about this. What's your take? What's your opinion in regards to this? And as you know, I'm your host and presenter, Ejirok Stories. But until then, let me see you on my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.